I've tried this a few times this morning. It hasn't worked out too well. I keep arguing with myself. I sat down and wrote a list of reasons why I wanted to quit smoking, things that mattered to me, and then also wrote down a list of things that triggered me. And on the same page, I wrote prayers as to what I was going to do to quit. And one of them is I started Shantex again today. I've used it like 3 or 4 other times, and it's always been successful until Shantex ran out. Then I was right back to smoking. And actually, I've had more interaction with my Carmen in the past few weeks than I've ever remember having in the past. And that's basically because I'm trying to quit smoking, and she doesn't want to. She's the only one in here that does not want to, and she's pretty spicy. Mm-hmm. But we're going to work with her. We're not going to demand anything. We're just going to do our best to work with her and trust that God is in control, and we know that He's in control, and that means He's also in control of her and all of me, not just parts of me. My personalities are just parts of me. They're like splinters, that I can't remove. But let's see, what it's like for me every day is just like I just explained, more or less a struggle. It's like, where are we going to eat breakfast? Not let alone what are we going to eat, where are we going to eat it? Are we going to eat it in the bedroom, sitting in bed watching BoobTube, listening to music? Are we going to go in the office? That's getting up. Who wants to get up? But nobody wants to get up. Then somebody wants to be outside, so somebody doesn't want to eat at all. Let's go for a ride. No, we can't go for a ride. I don't want to get dressed, somebody says. And so sometimes I wish I had a little microphone I could put inside my head so you could hear all. So you could hear, as I hear, so you could hear all the arguing that goes on. It's like being in a room full of people, but yet you can't tell any of them to shut up. And I really don't want to tell any of them to shut up, because they do have their own reasons and their own wants and needs. And I try to share all that time with them. And we try to work together. It's always been a thing where we work together to make things happen. And so far we're doing okay. And I'm very confused at times, but I just take a deep breath and let that go. Negative things are really hard for me to get past. Once I get into a negative mood, it usually tumbles. So I try to stay away from negative things as much as possible. I try to celebrate myself on the positive things that I've done, like being on Social Security for all these years and still being able to pay off my house. Having a decent car for the first time in my life to drive, one that I think I can depend on, I feel I can depend on. Let's see, as I said, I'm sitting in a miracle right now, because there's no way that a person like me should be owning a house. Unbelievable to me. And I've been here 33 years now. 33 years. That's the longest I've been anywhere. And the longest I've been with anybody is with me, of course. And I'm going to be with you tomorrow, too. Anyway, I wanted to tell you a little bit. Let's see, what was I thinking about earlier? Telling you uh, about my past exploits with MPD. There was a time when I lived in Washington, and I would, sorry about the noise, that's my neighbors having a good time with their lives. I'd living in Washington, and I'd lay down on my couch and wake up 3 weeks later in another state and not know how I got there, and not know how to get back either. That's always fun. Uh, and doctors have asked me, well, how did you feel when you got to that point? And I said, it's kind of like I'm sitting here in this chair, and all of a sudden I point out the window to a tree, and I say, I'm sitting at the top of that tree, and within seconds, it's like closing my eyes, and the next thing I know, I'm in a different place. And they go, well, what's your first thoughts? And it's like, okay, just like if I was sitting in the top of that tree, I wouldn't be thinking how do I get up here. It's like, how do I get down? You know. So it's like, what do I do next? Not, I'll go think about how I got to that point after I get myself out of this mess that I'm in. I'll figure out at least where am I at, and why am I here. I mean, I've been in stores before to where I'd find myself in the store and I'd have to check all my pockets and things like that to make sure I didn't have anything in them that belonged to the store, you know. That happened to me. Quite a funny story to go along with that, but that's for another day, not today. Um, but it's very confusing and it's very distressing, and I do my best, my very best to have as normal life as possible. I forget a lot of things. I realized the other day when I went to the doctor and I thought I'd walked around the dollar store for a while and missed my appointment. That wasn't my fault. I found the card this morning, and guess what? The appointment card they gave me at the office said I was supposed to be there at 1 o'clock. I was there on time, and they had me down wrong for 12:30. So here I drove all the way there, and they made a mistake, and they made me feel that I had. But they don't know that. But I'm calling them Monday morning and telling them all about it. But at least it wasn't something I did. You know, I was starting to feel inadequate to take care of even my own doctor's appointments because I was late for that one. Um, that makes me more down on myself, and that's the last thing I need to do is down on myself. Uh, I've noticed when I've listened to these videos, I really need to start speaking up, but I'm not doing that because I don't really want everybody in the neighborhood to know my business. So I try to keep my voice down. It's a little bit breezy out here today. I guess you can see that. The tarp over the pool blowing around, and the trees, and the bamboo and stuff. But beautiful day, and I'm having a wonderful day. It's almost a little after 3, I guess, and it's probably about 80 degrees out here or so, so it's not really hot. It's kind of nice, pleasant, quiet, except for a little bit of noise from my neighbors. Don't know if you can hear it or not. I did remember to turn my radio down this time, so we won't have that problem, and I don't see too much of a glare on my glasses, so I hope that's not a problem. Um, Everything's going pretty well today. I've been having a lot of arguments with me, but as I said, it's about this cigarette thing. And if I had a microphone, definitely put it in my ear so you can hear all of it. But beyond that, there isn't too much more to say. I don't really want to get into what I was going to tell you about my past life. That was over 30 years ago. Um, yet, because I'm not quite sure how to begin it, and I'm not sure how what's important to mention about it, and I'm just not sure how to approach it. I don't want to offend anyone out there, and I don't want to encourage anyone out there in that way, and it's just a touchy subject, so I'm trying to be discreet about it and be caring about other people that might be watching. Uh, so I've got to think about it a lot more, a little bit more at least, before I bring it up. But it'll be in my future videos. So please keep watching. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment. You know, I've only gotten one person commenting so far, and she said some pretty good comments. But hmm, it's I find these videos very healing for me because it gives me a chance to vent not only to others, but oh, this is a beautiful hummingbird. Okay. Um, it gives me a chance to vent to myself because I'm sitting here looking at me as I talk. And I'm telling myself what's going on. And that's a reality for me. It's a good reality. So, wish I get over that baloney. uh, I had a good breakfast this morning. I made myself bacon and eggs and English muffin with jam on it. It was hecka good, really good. Oh, and a glass of orange juice with a colada silver in it. And I took all my medication and my pills, my vitamins, and read my Bible, and prayed. I called a friend, and she was extremely down. Her and her husband are breaking up, and he took her son and went to LA, and she's there with her daughter, and her daughter's having a real hard time. But her daughter's one of the first ones to read my book, and she's almost done with it. So I was calling her to see how she loved if she liked my book, and I caught her in tears. And by the time we got off the phone, I was happy to say she was laughing and smiling. I felt very good that I was able to lift her up a little bit. I told her to not give up on her marriage, but to welcome him with open arms when he comes back. That's what she needs. Um, and but I also told her that with things like knowing things like this for people, what's going on, married people, I'm so glad I'm single. Thank you, Jesus. And she laughed about that. But I'm really glad that I don't have anybody that I have to argue with or break up with, and hurt my children with, or over. The daughter's just distraught because her father's gone. The son's distraught because they're away from the mother. They're in the city, and she's here in the country, and I'm sure the boys and the father are very confused being in that big city with all that noise and cars and people and everything. Where here it's so peaceful and quiet. They lived on a nice farm, so quite a change for Dad and his son. So I told her to be aware that they'll probably be back fairly soon once they get over the city. But anyway, uh, she was happy when we hung up, and that filled my day with joy. That I made somebody else day better, and I hope this has made your day better. God bless you all. I love you.